Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Coach Mel. I'm one of the UNLV volleyball assistant coaches, and I'm joined here by Paris. She's one of our DS liberos, and then also Lauren. Desiree, we have Desiree back. So
Oh,
I'll go ahead and let her take it over before I come back.
thank you very much for the audible. And it is such a privilege. Thank you all very much for having us. And thank you for spending time and caring about Rebel Volleyball. We know it's been a very challenging time for our community. We hope that everyone is staying healthy and staying safe, but we also wanted to provide a little bit of light. One thing about athletics, the beauty of athletics is that we all come from different places and different walks of life, but we all come together for one common goal, and that's to galvanize people, and that's for education, and it's also to compete to win. So you have three incredibly talented women on this call, and I cannot wait to be a part and to listen. And so thank you very much. And don't forget to make sure and check out the chat feature, and we'll filter those questions as well. So thank you. I'm looking forward to this time with all of you.
All right, I'll go ahead and take it off. So today our call is just about our culture, our team culture, and things that we've been trying to build here at UNLV. Our staff came in 2018, and so we're really excited to get into this fall season, but it's been quite the process, quite the journey with a lot of our seniors that we have now. Like I said, I'm joined by Paris. She's one of our, well, now sophomores, and Lauren, one of our juniors, and we're just going to talk a little bit about our culture. One big thing is, we're built on gratitude, being grateful for everything that we have, and I think from there to go along with our head coach Dawn, one of her biggest beliefs is building better people, building strong, independent, confident women, and as we go on, our first topic is just mindset, and I think this is something that we talk about every single day. Our championship mindset and just owning everything that we do, from on the court to off the court to in the locker room. There's a lot of things that we talk about. We have group discussions. We do a lot of journaling, and so I'll kick it off to Paris first to kind of talk a little bit about our mindset training and things that we do in the locker room before practice and before our matches.
Yeah, so before practice, usually we do meditations in the locker room. So Coach Mel comes in and we like to turn off the lights sometimes, and we all just close our eyes, put our feet on the ground, and just sit in an upright position. And it's a lot of visualizing. It's a lot of Mel going through what we want to accomplish for the day, just going through what has already happened throughout our day, and kind of just putting our minds in the right place for practice or the match. And our team definitely enjoys it. It helps a lot of us prepare and be in the right state of mind. And yeah, so that's mostly our meditations and what we do before our practices and matches.
Lauren, do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I think for me personally, just the meditation really helps clear my mind after I've had, maybe if it's the fall and I've just had like a full day of classes and then I'm ready to go to practice. Sometimes it's hard to shift that mindset from going normal day life into like go mode for practice. So something I really appreciate about it is just being able to calm down and let myself have those thoughts, and then completely then take them away to let myself go into that competitive state of mind for games or matches or whatever it is.
I think one thing that we talk a lot about is all the things that we have to do to get better on the court. And usually after a tough match, tough losses, a lot of things that we talk about is, it was in our head, and we got really mental, we got down on ourselves. And then I always question, okay, how much are we really working on that mental piece? And so the 5 minutes we take before our practice time is just to kind of set an intention for our practice. So we're utilizing our full 2 hours, and we're just making sure when we walk into the gym, we're fully present. We're fully aware of what we're doing. Again, we don't have a lot of time in the gym, so we want to make sure that we're utilizing every second that we have there to be at our best. And then again, just to be fully present. And that's the same thing for matches. When we get into a match, we have a full game plan ready. And so the meditation is just to kind of clear our thoughts, put everything else aside, whatever homework assignment you have, any social distractions, and just be completely there and one with our team. So that's just a part of like some of our mental and our mindset stuff. Another thing that we do a lot is journaling. I mentioned that before. Lauryn, do you want to talk to us a little bit about how journaling's kind of helped you through your process here at UNLV?
Of course. Yeah, so I came in my freshman year, and Mel had me journaling, and it didn't matter like what your journal looked like. It was kind of fun. Dawn wanted us to make it like really fun. Mine was just a boring purple like binder. But every day we would come in, and we have this like notebook binder that has all of our like standards in it and practice plans and skills stuff. And then we have just our normal journal. And in my journal in the spring, every day Mel would have me write down what either I did that day or what I changed or my frustrations or what I did really good. It could just be anything on how I was feeling. So writing that down throughout that whole spring of my freshman year, it was crazy to go back, or even in that same spring, go back to maybe I was 3 weeks into our individual training, but going back to that first week and seeing like the progress that I had made, even though sometimes it felt like, oh, I feel like I'm in this rut. I feel like nothing has changed, kind of being negative about myself. Like, oh, I don't feel like I've improved, but having that journal and being able to go back and see all the things that I actually did and I progressed on was very self-motivating to myself and just gave me a lot of confidence. And it's something I really appreciated. So yeah.
Desiree, did you have a few questions?
I did. I have a question for, I'm going to start with Paris, and then I'm going to go with Lauryn.
Okay.
Paris, you are from Honolulu. You went to Kamehameha, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're living in the 9th Island. What do you love about Las Vegas, and what was the biggest adjustment coming to Las Vegas?
Okay, so definitely I have to say I love the diversity piece, and especially within the team and the coaching staff, everyone was just really welcoming when I first got here, and on campus too, all of our staff, professors, and the people you meet, it's just so diverse, and I wanted that in my college experience, especially being from Hawaii, so that was really important to me. Also the weather, that's another thing, because I like hot a lot better than cold, so I actually don't mind it. But the hardest transition for me, I would say just like any other freshman college student usually goes through some type of homesickness, so probably just moving away from home, even though it's not like too far compared to like the East Coast. It was still difficult for me, moving from my parents and my small community at home, so I'd say that part of it.
Excellent. All right, Lauryn, you're from Bakersfield, California, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, when you moved from Bakersfield and you got to UNLV and you became a part of the Las Vegas community, what is it you love about Las Vegas? And what do you love about UNLV?
Oh, there's so many things. I don't know what to choose from. Las Vegas specifically, I would have to agree with Paris. The weather aspect is really perfect. Bakersfield's very wishy-washy. Like it could literally rain all of June, or it can just be like 110 every day. And I just appreciated like Nevada, how it was a little bit drier. You knew when the hot times of the year were going to be. And then honestly, after you get through like those 2 months of like that summer, June, July, then it's like perfect after that. So I was like, oh, this is paradise. This is great. And then UNLV, probably one of my favorite things was all the academic support that I get. I know it might not be people's first choice, but when I was in high school, I didn't really take school like necessarily that seriously, or I just learn in a different way than others where I really have to commit my time to it. And when I went on all my visits trying to pick what school I was going to go to, that's 100% what sold me and my family. Was like I knew that I was going to get a great education, and all of the support and the tutoring and the writing center and my sports advisors and my coaches being so on top of it for me too. it really just motivated me and like made me that much more excited to go to school at UNLV. So
that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. All right, Coach Mel, you played for the Rebels from what, 05 to 08, am I right?
Yep.
Okay. 4-year letter winner, very decorated player. Came to us from California, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, when you are recruiting prospective student athletes, what do you talk to them about Las Vegas? And if you were giving a recruiting pitch, like what are you selling?
I think for the most part for me, I mean, Vegas is home. So it's not that hard to kind of sell, especially I did stay about 5 years after college. I lived here and before I decided to move back home. But Vegas for me is just the people make the place. And so what was unique about it was I was able to meet some of my lifelong friends. And so I think just with the kind of going back to what Paris said, it's very diverse. There's a lot of different cultures here. I'm a pretty open person when it comes to trying a lot of new things, meeting a bunch of new people. And so I think just being able to kind of experience and talk to different people about all their walks and what made them, choose UNLV, and even having like little discussions over like cultural food, like all that stuff kind of is what attracted me to UNLV and to stay in Las Vegas. So it's definitely, the people that I've been able to make, all the relationships that I've been able to, build on. And even my roommate now he's one of my good friends. He's from Las Vegas. So yeah, it's definitely the people for me. And then obviously all the outside resources that our admin is able to kind of provide. I think networking is huge. And if you're trying to get out in the world and get a good job, you gotta know a lot of good people. And I think that's something that UNLV had always provided for me, even after college. I thought I wanted to be a masseuse, and that was definitely wrong. But I got a job at a really cool place because of all the people that I met here. So yeah, I've had like an interesting journey kind of going through, but it all came just from all the different people that I was able to meet and all the friendships I was able to create here in Las Vegas.
Well, I'm really glad you decided to be a coach.
Yeah.
And I think Lauren and Paris are too. But, all right. So
Yeah.
thank you for indulging me.
Yeah.
And ladies, you jump in. If you have any questions too, you jump in, all right?
all right.
Lauren, I know you're not shy.
Oh, you're right.
They
We were
got some
about how
questions.
Paris might not have anything to say. We were like, come on, P, like you gotta help out. Come on.
To kind of piggyback off of that question, a lot of things that we talk about with our recruits is just our culture in the gym and our coaching philosophy and the types of coaches that we are in the gym. And I think one thing that's unique to us is just our ability to understand, learn, and listen from our student athletes. I think it's really important for them to know that we care about what they think, and it's a two-way street. It's never just going to be a one-way conversation. Those are two different things that both Lauren and Paris actually are very different at. I've had the privilege of working with both of them, and so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Lauren and kind of speak on your experiences as far as our coaching philosophy and how we've been able to kind of grow you as a setter.
Yeah, so I think that when I came in my freshman year, I was a little timid in being able to be vulnerable and how I was feeling in any time throughout my whole first year. I was kind of scared to ask questions a little at first. I feel like it might just be something all freshmen go to. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for everyone. Maybe Paris is completely different, but I know for me as a player, I get overwhelmed with a lot of information. So especially in my position, I mean, I'm touching every single ball and my job is to run the offense. And I know that's something I've really had to work on a lot since my freshman year, even this last sophomore year, and then this last spring, on being able to build my relationship with not just Mel, but Ariel and Dawn, and say, okay, like I hear what you're saying, but I just genuinely don't have any more brain capacity to take it all in and perform for you and for myself and for my team. I just have to focus on maybe it's two things, or maybe it's even just one thing. And I think that's totally okay. But just recognizing that about myself, but also having the relationship with my coaches for them to let me have that say, and for them to just respect me and be like, okay, yeah, she's had enough, so we're good. And then that dialogue and that lingo has helped me grow as a player so much more to what I would have ever thought I could do. So something I've really appreciated.
Before I kick it off to you, P, we have our first winner. It's Chantel J. She has won the Raising Cane's gift basket. Someone from your coach marketing team is going to reach out to you to claim your prize. And then back to you, P. So same thing. How's the coaching atmosphere and the philosophy? How's that been for you?
Yeah, so this past year when I first came in, I definitely can say I am more of a timid player when it comes to coaching and our relationship there. So usually I would obviously just listen to what they were telling me, try to adjust from there, and not really have that two-way relationship going on. So I wouldn't really put my input or what I thought. I would kind of just listen, process, and take all the information they're giving to me. Now I'd say I've grown a little bit in that way where I do ask more questions at times, but I still usually just listen to what they tell me and don't totally just give my opinion of what I would think would be better. So I don't think I have much of a close relationship. Obviously, Lo has another year than I do on, but I'm more of a listener and just try to adjust from there. And if I do get overwhelmed with the information they are giving me, then I just try to breathe through it and take it one step at a time and just go through the process of it.
I think what's pretty unique about both Lauryn and Paris is that they're opposite. And it just has to do with just cultural background and just the way that they were kind of raised, I think. And so, Paris, do you want to speak a little bit about growing up in Honolulu and then having to come to this very open, diverse group of women?
Yeah, I definitely say obviously Honolulu, it's an island, so we have water around us, not obviously other states, but it's very much smaller. It's a smaller community, you know, a lot of people. You play with the same people usually, and you're just interacting and encountering the same people on a day-to-day basis. So it was definitely different coming here and meeting all these new people from different backgrounds. Honolulu, pretty much everyone, for the most part, has the same background. So it was very different for me and a really big transition. But I definitely think that I'm still going through that process of trying to adjust to that. But yeah, it's definitely been a learning experience for me. I think it's been good overall though.
I appreciate your honesty. So thanks. And I think it's just really important to know that we also have a lot of different kids in our gym. Like I said, Paris has come from, you know, Hawaii, and it's very different. Mentality is very different. You talk to respect your parents, and what they say is it. And so a lot of us are able to kind of have that open dialogue with Lauryn. Lauryn comes from a different household. So I think it's kind of cool to see everybody kind of come together and for us to kind of mix and gel, and how all of our differences just kind of end up being our strengths in the end. So it's been a pretty cool experience being able to coach both of them. Lauryn, how's the learning process been for you, both on and off the court?
Challenging. I think that's a great question. I think that when I first started, I've been playing volleyball since I was 9. So, and I was telling Mel in our, we had like a live Instagram thing that we did. And I was telling her that even watching so I come from a family of softball and baseball players. And me and my sister are the only two that branched out and played different sports. So she started a little bit older. So I only watched like older girls play. I never really got to watch like the young stage of like them learning how to play volleyball at a really high level. I started at the high level and then I started younger. But I thought I knew a lot of things coming in, which I mean, for a freshman, I think I might have, but how much I had learned in the process of my freshman year. I mean, I really struggled because I fractured my foot and I didn't even get to play the first half, well, almost all of our conference season. I only played the last 2 games. But figuring out how to still contribute and be on the bench at the time was a little bit different because that's never really happened to me. It was a little weird. I was like, what the heck? But I've enjoyed it and I've enjoyed the struggle. And I know now that I've enjoyed the struggle, but I think in the moment it was just like, nothing's going right. Like I'm hurt. And then whatever it was that came up, I think that I like just learned so much from trying to figure out different ways of how to insert myself with being on the bench and everything. And that really grew me into this sophomore year and in the spring of sophomore year, and Mel and I being the only 2 setters on the court and just going at it. So
Okay, I'm going to interject. You guys do some really cool things culture-wise, and I've had the good fortune of being able to spend a little time with you and all and talk about a book chapter. And you guys know I love book clubs. So Paris, tell us, or Paris or Lauryn, either one of you, just jump in. Tell us about the book that you just recently read, and what do you like about book club?
Okay, I can start. So the book we recently read is Legacy, and who was it by again, Lo? Do you remember?
James Kerr.
James Kerr, yes. So that was the book, and it was basically about this team from New Zealand, this rugby team, and they found a lot of success in their program, their team, but it took a lot to get them there. And we basically read the book, and it had a lot of different morals and lessons that we learned from it, and that hopefully we could apply to our program and our team. So I definitely say that was one of my favorite things about reading it. I felt like I could connect a lot of the lessons that they were giving me personally in my daily life, and also to the program and what we were trying to accomplish throughout our team and all our goals. So yeah, that would be my favorite part of the book.
Paris? Lauryn, what do you like about the Legacy book?
My favorite part was at first we were all reading the chapters individually, and all of us live with each other, so we would just be in our separate rooms and then read, and then we'd come to practice and talk about it. But one of my favorite parts was the coaches challenged us to like read it together and have dialogue before we came into the discussion. And I honestly felt like every single chapter we read, it was like something within that week of practices or games or whatever applied to like our real life. It was just so crazy to see a sport like rugby and then volleyball. I mean, they're 2 very different sports, but how from like an athlete standpoint and relationship standpoint and like your dialogue with your teammates and your dialogue with your coaches or your athletic department, whatever it is, it all like really applies to everyone. So I think that was my favorite part. And then I also liked having like guest speakers like Desiree when you came. That was really fun. And then we all got to present on the chapters that week. So we each were assigned a chapter, presented it, talked about it, and people got creative, which was fun too.
Is that the day we thought Desiree's hands were raining?
I didn't want to say it, Mel.
I was gonna totally do. Yes, thank you, Coach Mel. Yeah, you're fired. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just thinking that. I was like, I am not exposing Desiree.
Oh, it is.
That's not fair.
So I'll provide a little bit of context. We were having a pretty vulnerable conversation. Remember, Paris? And we were opening up, and I wasn't sure how vulnerable I was going to get, but I decided to just share with you all. And it was still pretty raw about something I was going through with my mom. and I was getting nervous, and when I get nervous my hands perspire, and I didn't real and I looked down, and all of a sudden my hands were perspiring like buckets. And then and people that were looking are like, what's going on? And I was like, yes, ladies, my hands perspire, like we're just gonna take it a whole nother level.
Nobody wanted to say anything. They were just like, what?
I know. I was like mortified, but then I was like, you know what? We're one team, and we're just gonna share everything. That's the way it goes.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We have a question from Mal P. Which mindfulness exercises or strategies have become your go-to when faced with adverse moments? And how do you apply those strategies to arenas outside of sports? Which one of you guys wants to take this? P?
Yeah, I can take that one. I personally do a lot of breathing. Breathing helps me a lot when my life gets busy, which is a lot of the time. I just like to take a step back and breathe and kind of just take one task at a time, and that helps me. And also, I pray sometimes for help. That helps me a lot. Also, just taking a step back, thinking that something's greater is there, and just trusting in that. And also visualization, especially for matches, that helps me to prepare for what I want to do, what I want to accomplish throughout the match, and just to get me in the right state of mind. So.
Lo, you got a follow up?
Yeah, my go-to is definitely visualization. I am a visual learner outside of volleyball, so I think for me, it's just one of my favorite things to do, because sometimes I feel like when we're in matches, if I get a little bit of that self-doubt creeping in, like, okay, like we have to score a point like right now, and if we don't, it's going to be my fault kind of thing. I just have to take a step back and visualize like what I want to happen, and then more often than not it ends up happening, which is great. It's very convenient. But I also breathing, I don't know, I guess it's both, but definitely visualization for everything, and then I include breathing on the court of just inhaling through my nose, exhaling through my mouth, like being able to just really calm my heart rate. And then I have to look at my teammates and just like dead in the eye, and then them look back at me, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Like, we're together. It's fine. So.
Breathing is actually something that we do and talk about a lot. We use our breathing and our breaths in a lot of different moments, either in match or in practice. I know Shelby actually is one of them. She's one of our outsides. She does a lot of she'll take a big deep breath right before a serve comes at her. That's just a way to kind of relax you. And then I'd say a way to apply it outside is I actually just take some deep breaths when I'm in the office and there's just a lot of stuff going on. So right now with the whole recruiting and making all these phone calls, just in between my calls, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Next phone call, next hour, let's go. I'm ready. But yeah, those breathing does a lot. And then we do talk through a lot of visualization skills. So we have another winner. Our next winner is Bill R. He's won the volleyball jersey. So Bill, someone from UNLV marketing, from the UNLV marketing team is going to reach out to you to claim your prize. So congrats. And if it's the Bill R that I think it is, I better see you wear that at our matches this fall.
Love it. Coach Mel, one thing I love about you is when you mention your office, I have the good fortune, I walk by your office each day, and you are a student of leadership, and we have good conversations about books. I love that legacy book. There was especially the part when we were talking about character, and there was the scene in the book where they're talking about sweeping the shed. Remember, and none of us are ever too big to sweep the shed. What's your favorite book on leadership, and why is studying that important?
Ooh, my favorite book on leadership. There's been quite a few. I've actually really enjoyed Legacy. I don't know if it's because of the setting that we are able to kind of reflect on it or why, but I think I really appreciated everybody's feedback And I got to hear from more than just the voice inside my head, as far as like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, I've read a few things. I've read Mindset, The Power of Positive Team. That I got that one from you. Rising Strong. There's like a lot of different books that I think I've referenced, but for the most part, I think just the journey through legacy with the team has probably been the best part for me, as far as just hearing from different people's perspective. I thought I got a lot more out of it. It could be that, or the fact that I read it like 3 times because I knew we were going to go over it as a team. And so I was like, okay, wait, I just missed, chapter 1, but legacy was a big one. I mean, it's a big part of like gratitude as well, being grateful for everything, entitled to nothing. And I think that was a big piece of that book. And I just really appreciated it. So I'd have to say probably legacy for sure.
Awesome. All right, Paris and Lauryn, same similar kind of question. What's the best leadership advice that either Coach Mel or Coach Dawn, or what's a leadership lesson you've learned from your coaches?
There's so many. And I'm not even just saying that to be like, oh, there's so many. No, like there's literally so many. Paris, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Let me think about this one. Actually, just recently, I was talking to leadership about Mel, and Mel told me that leadership doesn't necessarily have to be coming from just your voice, but it also starts with taking action. And this stood out to me because I'm not very much of a vocal person to people that I don't necessarily feel comfortable with and trust yet. But I am a person that tries my best to lead by action and lead by example. And that's always been really important to me, to inspire the people around me by what I do and what I put my mind to. So I definitely say that was an important leadership role and tip that I got that was good. So
excellent. Thanks, Paris.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine would have to be how far confidence can take you as a player. I think that that's something that personally I struggle with on the court, is sometimes I don't always trust myself, but I love that it's always instilled in me through my coaches. Like I have every capability and every power to do whatever I put my mind to, and how your mental state is so important on the volleyball court and off. And I just think that that's carried me through a lot of things, not even just volleyball wise, like in the classroom, and just in my personal life. So I think that's one of the biggest things for me.
Cool. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about what everybody says about our team, our family-like environment. Our culture is pretty based off of us just being really cohesive and having this, team, like one team. And so we have a lot of people that talk about how family-oriented we are and how close we are as a group. I think for me, we have a lot of those family-like traits, which is why a lot of people can kind of relate to it. We do a lot of things together, both on and off the court. I'll let the girls kind of speak on that. But as far as, families go, I think for us, there's a family, and then there's a family-like environment. And for our team, there's conditionals and there's unconditionals. And so to say that we're a family, I think that speaking is as far as, that unconditional love. For us to be excellent and for us to be great, there are conditions within our team. We do hold our team to a certain standard. And so we do have a lot of family-like traits, but I don't want to confuse the word family to what our team is. It's kind of this unspoken thing that we know our actions that we take off the court have to correlate to the actions that we have on the court. And so a lot of the things that we do on our own time have to make sure that they're, aligned with the things that we're going to get done on the court. We have that championship mindset, that championship culture. And so, yeah, there are conditions and there are standards that we're able to kind of uphold ourselves to. And I think what makes us really close is the fact that we're all really like-minded in that sense. We all really want to be successful, and we know what it takes to get there. So I'll kick it off to both Paris and Lauryn to speak on kind of our team chemistry and how close we are. So one of you guys can go first.
Oh, you want to take it first?
Sure. Yeah, so speaking on our team culture, I think that our team is very close and we all treat each other like sisters. And like Mel said, there definitely is a little fine line of that unconditional like love that she was saying, how like there are certain things that if something like happens, like holding each other accountable is what I'm trying to say. Having the mindset of helping each other out and but also not letting ourselves get too far with whatever decision we're making. It doesn't even have to be related to the court. It could be a lot of it is off the court. But holding ourselves to a certain standard and just like helping each other with each decision that we're making so that we're all on the same path and we're all on the same mindset. Because I think it'd be really hard if one person was on one page and then the other person's on the other. Like, we're not going to work cohesively. And I think that's a really big thing that we had learned, especially in this last spring, reading Legacy. I think it taught us a lot of skills to how to communicate with each other. And then, you know, our coaches brought in one of our alumni, Leanna, and she's just amazing. I can't even speak highly of her, but she really helped us with dialogue with each other and how to approach a situation if maybe someone or something does happen with one of us, and letting our teammates be the one that come to us first instead of maybe not having the coaches right away jump in and letting us figure it out for ourselves. And then, you know, whatever happens after that, if it needs to be taken to a new level, which our team's really good, so I don't think it would happen. But if that does happen, then we know how to approach the situation and we know what to do. So from my perspective, I think we've grown a lot in that aspect.
Wonderful. Okay, so we are going to have one more question, and then we are going to go with closing comments and what you all want our fans to know about UNLV volleyball. Okay, but before we do, we have a winner, Roland M. You won a volleyball and UNLV Nike t-shirt. So stay tuned. Marketing will be contacting you. Congratulations, Roland M.
Yay.
Okay, so let's talk volleyball. We've talked a lot about culture and how you all are building it and why it's so important to have a strong culture based upon character and values. Let's go Paris, Lauryn, and then Coach Mel. Tell me, what do you want fans to know about UNLV volleyball, and what can they expect to see in the fall?
Okay, I'm gonna say, okay. I would like fans to know definitely to come out because it should be good, especially with the changes and adjustments that will probably have to happen because of COVID. But definitely to keep supporting. There's going to be a lot of new incoming freshmen on our team, so new faces to see, and just thank you for your continued support, and please stay tuned for the season.
Excellent.
Okay, well, Paris kind of stole mine, but a little bit of the same route. Like she said, a lot of new incoming freshmen, same old faces. We got our seniors. Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. But yeah, our new freshmen, I'm really excited for you guys to meet them and stick around after our games because we sign posters and volleyballs, and that's probably one of the highlights of game week is just being able to have you guys walk by the table and talk to all of you and just get to know each other. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
Can you say the question one more time?
Sure. What do you want fans to know about UNLV women's volleyball, and what can they expect in the fall?
Man, first of all, volleyball is one of the most popular sports in the world. It's top 5. So why wouldn't you want to come to a volleyball match? 2, you can expect to learn and to get educated. If you're new to the sport and you're unsure of who to cheer for or why there's a girl wearing a different color jersey, we got you. We hand out these cheer cards that kind of educate you and give you just a little bit more of interaction. I've been working pretty closely with our marketing team, and there's a lot of things that we do that try to engage our fans a lot more. So you can definitely expect a fun family environment. Another thing, we're trying to bring in more live bands. Last year we had a really good DJ, and then we had a few high school bands that were able to kind of come into the mix. And yeah, it was just a really electrifying event to be at, and it was just a volleyball game. And it's a really inexpensive way to come out and have some fun. So I think what you can expect is something unexpected, and the only real way to kind of feel that is just to come out to a game, to come support us, to be in that moment with us. So
awesome.
I got really excited. Sorry.
No, it's fantastic. Well, thank you all very much for watching. We have an incredibly talented group of young leaders who work really hard to make you all proud. They're coached by some fine leaders as well, who are committed to representing the Rebels in the right way. And you heard about culture, you heard about the family atmosphere, but what they're too humble to mention, but I'm going to share, these are some fierce young ladies. And they're going to go out there and they are going to compete like no one else's business. And they are going to work really hard, because you know what? We're not going to apologize for wanting to win. And this is going to be a special season. Right, Paris?
Yes, definitely.
Right, Lauren? All right. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
And so don't miss out. And we cannot wait to see everyone back in the fall. So thanks for watching. See y'all.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.